Today we'll be studying one more family. And this family will be family Piperaceae. Now you can see on the screen the screenshot which I'm forwarding to you. Can you see this? मॅडम दिसतंय का सर्वांना?
नो सर.
स्क्रीन नाहीये माझा?
नो सर. No, sir. If it is not.
का बरं? का दिसत नाहीये? काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे? मी पण शेअर करतो.
Yes, sir.
हो मिळाला.
Presentation is not sharing. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
आहे ना?
Yes.
ओके ओके. तुम्हाला दिसतो मी बाकीचे दिसत असेल.
Yes.
Okay. So today we are going to deal with a very interesting family, the family Piperaceae. That way, a very small family, but this family is very economically important family, a very known family. It's a small tropical family confined to southern hemisphere. Particularly, this family is confined right from the Indonesia to Africa. This family is very common and indigenous even in Assam, Sri Lanka, and most of the parts of India. In all, there are 8 genera of this family which are being represented, out of which only 2,000 species. Of these 2,000 species, the 2 genera, the Piper and the Peperomia, these 2 genera cover almost more than 1,000 species, and the remaining species they are spread over. Now, as far as India is concerned, there are about genera which have been represented, and they are having almost 110 species which are spread. Now, most of the members, they are generally found in, though it is written as the Himalayan range, it is at the foothills of Himalayas, not in the Himalaya. It is called the Khashi Hills. Then in Assam forests, evergreen forests, Western Ghats, particularly many of the members, they are very common in southern India, including Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and nearby areas. The common genera of this family, they are Piper, Peperomia, Ochonia, Zipelia, etc. Of this, the Piper and Peperomia, they are very common with us, and even we can find them in Maharashtra. As far as the Piperaceae is concerned, it is a very interesting family. And the plants are generally succulent plants. They are succulent pairing plants. Very few genera, they are herbaceous and annual. But generally, the plants are succulent herbs. They are shrubs. Very rarely, they are trees. But generally, these plants, they are twiners, or climbers, and they are always having the swollen internode. The stem is always soft, herbaceous, it is fleshy, and the stem always bears the essential oils, aromatic oils. And because of that, this family is very important. Now, as I told you that the stem of this family, they are angular, they are not straight, they are not circular or round in shape, they are angular in shape. And also they are having the swollen internodes. Leaves of the stems, they are very interesting, they are having stipules, and the stipules generally adnate to the petiole. They are attached to the petiole. No, generally the leaves are petiolate, they are alternate, entire, and they are having a sheath base. That is very important. Also, the leaves are fleshy, and obviously they contain the oil glands. Because of that, obviously the shoot part as well as the leaves, they are aromatic. Stem, as far as I told you, that they are angular, fleshy, herbaceous. There is one more very important character which has been inherited by this family, and that is this particular dicot. It shows scattered vascular bundles. Now remember, the scattered vascular bundles is the characteristic feature of monocots. However, this is exhibited by the Piperaceae, and even it shows the pitted thickening and reticulate thickening. Now, these are the two forms of the thickenings which are generally again represented by the Prin monocots. And these two type of thickenings, they are seen in Piperaceae members. So that's why the vascular bundles, they are very close to and similar in analogy with the monocots. Now, why the Piper is important? Because you can see this figure. This is Piperniagara. That generally we call it as a black pepper. It's a climber generally on the foothills of Western Ghats. They are cultivated in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, on very large scale. So it's a climber, and it's very rich in alkaloids. Another plant which is very common among us, and this is Piper long. हे म्हणजे आपलं खाऊचं पान आहे. Almost in India, there are 1600 varieties of petals are there. So depending upon the taste, some are sour, some are sweet, some are having the typical aroma, and because of that, the have been identified of this Piper longum. So this is a very common plant of this Piperaceae. It is generally a weed. When we go for collection, generally along the roadside or along the water streams, we find this plant. So you can see the plant already. It's a succulent plant. It is angular, and it is having the swollen nodes and internodes, and the leaves are very thick and fleshy. They are shining, glabrous, and obviously this is a Peperomia. This genus is Peperomia. So, as far as the Piperaceae family is concerned, as I have shown you the figure, the inflorescence is always an axillary leaf opposed to spike. Sometimes it means spadix also. Spadix in the sense the male and female flowers are separate, and bisexual flowers are also present at the top. Generally, the inflorescence is simple, that is not branched. And as it is, this inflorescence is called a spike because the flowers are sessile. Each flower is batiate, it is small, it is bisexual, regular, and as an individual at every node, each flower is born in a cymose inflorescence. So 2 to 3 flowers are born together. Generally, the flowers are of tetramerous nature. It is the flowers, there are multiples of 4. The ovary is superior, the flower is hypogynous. Obviously, the flower also is very fleshy and aromatic. It is sepaloid. It is green in color. So the bracts are peltate, they are boat shaped, they are always present in pairs, they are fleshy, they are green in color, and base of these bracts, the nectary glands are present. And these nectary glands, they secrete the glucosides. And because of that, these flowers, they are sweet smelling. Very interestingly, in Piperaceae, the perianth is totally absent. So even though the perianth lobes may be 2 to 6, usually they are 4 and they are opposing to the bracts, but the perianth, they are totally absent. Now here, as per the stamens are concerned, the number of stamens, it varies from 1 to 10, but usually the number is more than 6 to 10. They are monadelphous, that is forming a single bundle at the base. Almost all the stamens are fertile, and this tube is adnate to the gynoecium. So the gynoecium is elevated, the ovary is elevated. On the ovary surface or ovary wall, the stamens are attached. The anthers are diathecous. Basically, obviously, they are opening by the longitudinal slits, and they are opening extros. Interestingly, the stamens also are cephaloid. They are green color. In very few genera like Otonia, there may be presence of sterile staminodes are seen. And these sterile staminodes are nothing but they are the filaments without anther lobes. So sterile stamens, if at all they are staminodes, if at all they are present in two whorls. The outer whorl is staminode and inner whorl is fertile one. So as far as the gynoecium is concerned, the ovary is bicarpellary syncarpous. So as I told you, the flowers, they are tetramerous. Here the ovary is having bicarpellary nature, syncarpous superior. Each carpel is unilocular with a single orthotropous ovule with the basal placenta. Remember, in gynoecium, one carpel becomes sterile and vestigial, and only one carpel is fertile, and it is containing a single ovule. So ultimately, even though the gynoecium is bicarpellary syncarpous, ultimately when the fruit formation takes place, it is a single fruit, a single berry, and it is containing a single seed inside. So obviously it is having the fleshy stigma, and a stigma is bifid. Style is simple, fleshy, and stigma is bifid. So the fleshiness of this family is seen almost in all plant parts, including vegetable parts as well as in floral parts. And these parts, that is vegetative parts and reproductive parts, they are very much rich in three compounds. One, they are containing the alkaloids, they are containing the essential oils, aromatic oils, and also they are containing glucosides. And because of that, the Piperaceae family members, they are very much important, and they carry economically importance from medicine. Also, many of the members, they're used, or the fruits and seeds, they're used for culinary dishes. The fruit is concerned, the fruit is a fleshy berry. सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे की पेपर कसा असतो तो सुरुवातीच्या काळामध्ये ती बेरी असते, ती फ्लेशी असते, नंतर त्याच्यावरती सुरकुत्या तयार होतात, and it becomes a hard nut. So it is indehiscent, one-seeded, and obviously the seeds are non-endospermic. They do not contain endosperm. Very interestingly, the seed also, along with the fruit, they are rich in aromatic oils. So aroma is a very important feature of this family. Now you can see an example of sort of a diagrammatic stage of Piperniagara. Now you can see the berries which have been formed now, which are dry. So if you see at the top, you can see the bifid stigma. Again, at the top of the corner, at the center, the green is showing the stamens. You can see the two stamens at the base and the vertical section of ovary. Even a section of the spike has been drawn at the base. You can see at the center. And this is showing a nature of a flower. Now here you can see the adnate bracts at the base, which are peltate. Then they are showing the stamens again, which are laterally placed, and at the center you can see a single ovary. The same ovary is represented at the base. So this is a diagrammatic sketch of the Piperniagara, and also you can see the spike inflorescence, which is axillary in position. Generally, it is leaf opposed, so the opposite to the leaves, and that is a very interesting character because this character is in the family Murumkar of Magnoliaceae. Now, this is a diagrammatic sketch of Piperniagara again. Now, you can see the inflorescence, the arrangement of flowers. At the bottom, you can see and again, you can see the D section is showing stigma. So, Piperaceae family is undefined because of its twining nature. Now, as far as the importance of this family is concerned, this is a very small family, but generally most of the members, they are succulent and they contain the watery juice. So even though succulence is present and lacticiferous glands are present, the mucilage is present, which is colorless. That's why the plants are succulent. And because of that, most of the Piperaceae members, they are can plants. They contain the crassulacean acid metabolism. As I told you, they are aromatic, and the most important compound which they contain is the piperin and geranium, because of which the Piperaceae is economically important. Both the family is of tropics and subtropics in its spread and distribution. Most of the members, they are present in the southern belt of the earth. Now, this family is placed in microembryi by the Radiance group because it is containing a very small embryo which is very minute, and because of this small embryo, this was placed in microembryi. Now remember, microembryi, it was an artificial order which was created by Bentham and Hooker. But Basse and later on Cronquist, Pactagen and many others, they placed the Piperaceae in the group Magnolidae. That is, they placed this family very close to Magnoliaceae group or Reynolds group. Then this family also has a very close affinity with one more family, and that family is Lauraceae. Because in family Lauraceae also, the floral character, the floral structures, they are almost equal. But in Lauraceae, the plants are generally trees. Whereas in Piperaceae, the plants are generally herbaceous and they are climbers. But in both Lauraceae and Piperaceae, we will find that essential oils are present, aromatic oils are present, and the family of these oils is almost similar, homogeneous in both Piperaceae as well as in Lauraceae. As I mentioned, the plants are only exhibiting the crassulacean acid metabolism. Now, as I told you right at the beginning, because of the simplicity of the floral characters and their miniature nature, that is, the flowers are small, these flowers, they have been placed in Magnolidae by many of the Rhenanian school taxonomists. They are Cronquist, Smith, Pactagen, Hutchinson, and many others. Even in the recent APG system of classification, this family has been included in the core group family or core angiosperm dicot family. So even though this family is because it is exhibiting several characters which are dominant, and these characters are of dicot nature. But again, this family is again generally treated as a link between the dicot and a monocot because the vascular structure, the good anatomy of this family is very close to that of monocots because it is having the scattered vascular bundles. The secondary growth is almost absent. There is the absence of cambium. Then bicollateral arrangement of the vascular bundles, that is xylem and phloem, and also presence of a very thin epidermis and the presence of herbaceous cortex. These are many of the anatomical characters which are very close, and they are exhibiting the character of a monocot. And because of that, even though family is representing the dicot nature, by development and by anatomy, this family is showing the monocot characters. And because of that, several workers from phylogenetic point of view, they have placed this family in between the dicots and monocots. That is, they have placed this family very close to herbaceous ranunculales, because ranunculales members also exhibiting two groups. One is the terrestrial ranunculales and another is aquatic ranunculales. And Piperaceae member, it is showing a close affinity towards the aquatic ranunculales group. Obviously, this is also showing several parallel characters of Alice Mattel's group. But from the developmental studies, from cytological analysis, from biochemistry, now Piperaceae family is identified as one of the advanced family of dicots. And because of that, this family has been included as an advanced family where the simplicity is exhibited by these members because of the high evolution. And because of the high evolution, reduction in characters has been taken place. And so, this is a very interesting family, important family, and that family is family Piperaceae. So, with this, today we'll stop at the present. Now, this is a Piperniagara, which is very extensively cultivated in Western Ghats, which generally we call them as a Madhumalaya hills of Kerala. And we are having this on the hills, we are having the farms of pipe paper. आणि मिरीचे मळे आपल्याला बघायला मिळतात. इव्हन महाराष्ट्रामध्ये पण कोकणामध्ये खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणावर केले जाते. मिरीचे वेल लावले जातात आणि देशावरती म्हणजे घाटावरती तुम्हाला माहिती आहे सगळीकडेच महाराष्ट्र, मध्य प्रदेश, उत्तर प्रदेश आणि टू सम एक्सटेंट ऑफ will find internet. Both are belonging to the same family. So this information will take a break, and at the same time we'll be continuing family, and that family will be family Lauraceae, which is very closely associated with this group. If at all you are having any queries, now you can ask me in the chat box, so we can have a dialogue now. Yes, any queries from your side? Yes, that's very true, ma'am. The circular nature of this family is No. Basically, this is a typical C3 group. And because of circular nature, particularly in the Piperniagara, it is exhibiting the cam nature. because most of the plants, even though they are succulent, they are grown in dry areas. So members are growing in dry areas, and because of that, they are exhibiting the cam nature. When they are cultivated, under cultivation, they may not exhibit a facultative cam, but or otherwise, when they are growing in nature, in nature form, they exhibit the cam nature. The best example is Peperomia. The Peperomia genus is found even in Kolhapur. Engage this member. Even almost all Western Ghats, we find this Peperomia, particularly in Gaganbauda, Radhanagari, Amboli, even in our फोर्ट एरियाज आपल्याला जेवढे म्हणून किल्ले आहेत त्या बऱ्यापैकी किल्ल्यांच्या त्या तटबंदीमध्ये आपला पेपरोमिया जिनस मिळतो आणि त्यामुळे पेपरोमिया इज अ टिपिकल कॅम्प प्लांट. पेपरोमियाची मी तुम्हाला फिगर दाखवली होती. अवेलेबल दिस इज द पेपरोमिया. तुम्ही बघितलं असेल आपल्यामध्ये वाढतं तसं फार उंच असत नाही, जास्तीत जास्त 8 इंच 9 इंच एक फुटा छोटस. क्लोजअप घेतल्यामुळे तुम्हाला मोठं दिसतंय ते, इट्स व्हेरी स्मॉल प्लांट. इव्हन आपल्या पुणे म्हणजे शिवाजी विद्यापीठामध्ये सापडतंय. आपल्या बॉटनी डिपार्टमेंटला अनेक ठिकाणी ना त्या ठिकाणी प्लांट सापडतो पेपरोमिया. Any other query? Okay, if there are no any other questions, now today we will stop. मॅडम आपण उद्या पुन्हा लेक्चर घेऊया आणि we'll be meeting at 1 o'clock.